In the years that followed Obina's birth, the kingdom flourished under the guidance of King Heze and the wisdom of Queen Adeobi. The people prospered, and the villagers admired their Prince Obina, who grew more graceful and intelligent by the day. Only the queen and the midwife Oluchi held the secret of Obina's true identity. It was a secret they kept with fierce loyalty, bound by trust and a shared sense of duty to protect the kingdom. But life has a way of changing in unexpected ways. As time passed, Oluchi grew older, her body weakened, and her once strong hands trembled with age. One chilly night, Oluchi fell gravely ill. Queen Adeobi rushed to her side, grateful for all the years Oluchi had stood by her and kept the secret that meant so much to them both. With tears in her eyes, the queen held Oluchi's hand and whispered, "You have done more for me than I can ever repay. You helped me protect my child and my family. You are a part of this kingdom." Oluchi, with her frail voice, looked at the queen and replied, "My queen, I would do it all again. The gods chose you and your daughter for a reason. She will be a great ruler, I have no doubt." With that, Oluchi took her last breath, her hand still in Adeobi's, and she passed into the afterlife with the queen's secret safe with her. The queen mourned Oluchi's death, but there was little time for sorrow. Soon after, King Heze, who had grown weaker over the years, also fell ill. His once mighty presence had faded, and he often relied on Obina for guidance in matters of the kingdom. It was as if he saw in his son a reflection of his younger self, wise, fair, and courageous. As his strength waned, he called for Obina, who had become like a beacon of hope and pride for him. Obina, now a young adult, stood by his father's bedside, dressed in the traditional royal robes that Heze had once proudly worn. The king's voice, though weak, was filled with the depth of a lifetime of wisdom. "My son," he began, his hand resting on Obina's shoulder, "you were born to rule this kingdom. I have taught you all that I know, and you must lead with fairness and justice. Remember the importance of wisdom and mercy. These are the virtues of a true king." Obina held his father's hand, feeling the weight of his words. "I will honor your teachings, father. I will lead as you have taught me." Heze's eyes shone with pride, and he passed away that night, leaving Obina with a legacy of wisdom, integrity, and an oath to protect the kingdom. The days of mourning passed, and soon, the time came for Obina to take the throne. Dressed in the ceremonial attire of their ancestors, Obina stood before the elders and the villagers, his posture straight and his voice steady. He vowed to uphold the principles his father had instilled in him, vowing to lead with fairness and compassion. The villagers, filled with pride and admiration, embraced Obina as their new ruler, though none knew the truth about the young king. Obina's reign began, and from the outset, it was clear that the kingdom had a wise and just ruler. The years that followed were marked by fairness and prosperity, as Obina governed with an open heart and a sharp mind, much like his father. On many occasions, Obina demonstrated his sense of justice in ways that endeared him even more to the people. A group of children from a neighboring village were caught stealing food from the palace gardens. When they were brought before Obina, he noticed their thin faces and torn clothes. Rather than punishing them harshly, he ordered the palace cooks to feed them and learn why they had come to such desperation. Upon hearing their story, Obina arranged for food supplies to be sent to their village, ensuring that they would not have to steal again. The villagers saw this act as a testament to Obina's compassion, and their love for him deepened. Yet even as Obina ruled with wisdom, Queen Adeobi felt a pang of worry each time her daughter made a public appearance as the king. The weight of the secret she had guarded for so long grew heavier with each passing year. Obina, for her part, also felt the strain of the secret she carried. She longed for a life where she could be her true self without the disguise, without the constant pressure of pretending. Still, she honored her mother's sacrifice and knew that her duty to the kingdom was greater than her personal desires. Years passed, and one day, Queen Adeobi fell ill. Her spirit began to fade, and Obinna, despite being a strong and capable ruler, felt a deep sense of sorrow. Adeobi had been her guiding light, the one who had prepared her for this role and shown her how to carry the responsibility. As she sat by her mother's side, Obinna held her hand, feeling the weight of the legacy Adeobi had passed down to her. "My child," Adeobi whispered, her voice faint but filled with love, "you have done me proud. You have honored this kingdom and your father's memory." She paused, struggling to find the words. "But remember, you are also a gift from the gods, just as much as you are a ruler." Tears welled up in Obinna's eyes, and she nodded, her heart heavy with both grief and gratitude. With a final squeeze of her hand, Adeobi passed away, leaving Obinna to carry on the legacy they had built together. Now truly alone, Obinna continued to rule with the same fairness and wisdom she had always shown. But her mother's absence left a void in her heart, a loneliness that no amount of leadership could fill. She often reflected on the secret she had carried all her life, feeling its weight more acutely with each passing day. She wanted to live a life where she could be free, where she could be her true self without the shadow of the secret hanging over her.